Welcome to Be My Guest. Today we have Swati and Gowri with us to tell us about a project for traffic calming public art in Natick that has been recently selected. So Swati is no stranger to Be My Guest or to ActonTV. So she is a long-time resident of Natick, is actively engaged in the town with equity, inclusion, and diversity work. She's proud of her Indian heritage and has taken initiative to create awareness of India's rich culture, values, and traditions through town-wide celebrations of festivals like Holi and Diwali, and by hosting dance recitals, art projects, and musical program with the help of NCCD, Spark, Morse, Institute Library, and CSSC. She has been the chair of Natick Cultural Council and is currently a board member of Natick Center Cultural District and Spark. Welcome, Swati.
Thank you.
And then we have Gowri Ramachandran, an artist and social entrepreneur in the Philippines. She's been training women in the local community and making unique handcraft products that are sold in local bazaars and tourist outlets. She had founded Happily Handmade to promote her work. Welcome, Gowri, all the way from Philippines. Thank you for taking the time. And Swati, being the localite here, can you tell me more about this project?
Surely. Again, thank you, Hamsha. Thank you, Gowri, for joining us. This Traffic Calming Public Art is an initiative by Natick Center Cultural District. In the month of November, they came up with this announcement asking the local artists to submit proposals of design for the areas, as you see, identified as A, B, C, D, E, and F. Each area were of different dimensions, and the concept and philosophy behind this project or the initiative was, this is the traffic circle in downtown Natick, which is kind of little busy, right? And in the evenings or in the mornings when cars are stuck at the traffic circle or you're waiting for the traffic lights to change, to calm you or to enjoy the public art, which would be created by the local artist in this area. So when I saw this proposal, the first thought that came to my mind was Kolam. So what is Kolam? Kolam is a traditional ritualistic floor art from Tamil Nadu, the state in south of India. It's called it's not called with different names. It's in different languages or in different parts of India, it's called as in different names, as I said. But the underlying philosophy and the ritual and the art and the theology kind of remain same across the India. So I'm sure all the people from the Indian origin may be able to identify with this art. And I wouldn't say that it's very specific to south of India, but it's just called as Kolam in Tamil Nadu, right, Gowri?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And Mugulo in Telugu, in Andhra, and you can tell us what's Rangoli. Most people know
Rangoli,
that.
Rangoli, as most people know.
Most people know. So as I said, when I thought about Kolam, first thing I thought was Kolam, and the second thing I thought was Gowri. So Gowri has been a good friend of mine for the last 5 years. We met at our Vedic Mathematics conference. As Hamsha mentioned, Gowri is an accomplished artist, but let me tell you, she's an accomplished Kolam artist as well. She drew. And so I talked to her about this project and I said, could we submit a design proposal for this idea? And Gowri, at this point of time, I would like to ask you as to, did you think I was crazy enough to talk about this, or was it okay? So when I first approached you with this idea.
Yeah, it was fun. Actually, Kolam means something which we draw in front yard, right? And when you said you want it as a street art in downtown Natick, I was super excited. I was like, thank you for giving me the opportunity, actually. So that's where it all started, right, Swati? Yep. And then once Swati said, okay, let's do Kolam as a street art, I wanted to see what is the underlying idea. It's supposed to be a street art, so it should connect to the local native community and not, a traditional art from India. So we had a series of discussions, me and Swati, and we decided that we will use it. We'll use the seasons of Natick as our theme for our column. Since it's a big floor design which we had to come up, we said, okay, let's use the 4 seasons of Natick. Right, Swati, can you tell about the seasons, what you described to me?
Yeah, or Hamsha, you can be a good
Yeah,
talk
that
about
yeah,
our New England weather and New England 4 distinct seasons that we are really able to enjoy in this part of the world, right, Hamsha?
yes, it's perfect because all 4 seasons are so distinguishable. We can tell you when it's spring, fall, summer, or winter just by looking at our trees, if anything else.
Yeah.
Right,
So,
and that excited me actually, Hamsha. So when Swati said let's bring in seasons in our columns, I was like, okay, I'm in a country where there's like only summer, so
right.
I was like really excited to bring in the theme of seasons in the column. So and then so we came up with the initial drawings, and the first idea was when me and Swati thought of columns, we will bring all kinds of columns which are used in Tamil Nadu, which is like a Padi column, a Pulli column, and a Sikku column. We'll talk more about it when I describe each column there, but that was the idea. So when it came to the first thought, and Padi column is a very traditional column which is drawn on auspicious occasions in my region where I come from. So that was my first thought, and I said, what better way to depict Padi column than it is for the festival of Diwali?
Mhm.
Though we use a lot of colors in different parts of India when it comes to Diwali, but then Diwali comes during the period of fall. So I wanted to mix that idea of fall and Diwali together. So that became a challenge. And when it comes to a Padikolam, not many colors are used in Padikolam. And so I tried to mix both the concepts of Diwali, the Padikolam, and fall, all the 3 concepts there. And then come up with this idea of putting diyas around the kolam. And what is the uniqueness of a Padi kolam is it's a freehand drawing. So it starts from a dot in the center. And then the drawing continues with shapes, actually geometric shapes. You see the squares and triangles and rectangles and things like that. So that was exciting. And then when it came to the thought of fall, we needed the colors of the fall in the Padi column. So we added the green, yellow, and red. And again, it brought it all together. So that was a Diwali column. And then when we came to think of the next type of column, when what I decided was summer. And then I thought, what better way to say summer is the sun or the Surya column. The
Mhm.
Surya column is usually drawn during the Pongal day in South India. But then I said the sun depicts summer for most of us, right? So then I decided I'll use the Surya column. And here the Surya column I drew is called a Sikku column. Sikku column is something where we use dots as guidance. It's not exactly a freehand column, but then the dots are doodled around the, I mean, the drawing is doodled around the dots. So it's not joining the dots, but it's encircling the dots. And then most of the time, a Sikku column is just one single line which goes around. So that is the tricky part. But then for the Surya column, I use the Sikku column there to do it. And
Yeah.
the same, yeah.
Yeah, Gauri, I just wanted to tell, like, when you talked about Pongal, Pongal usually comes in the month of January, but we kind of, as Gauri said, like, nothing better to depict summer than Surya Kolam. So, kind of like, I liked the idea of kind of taking the traditional concept of Pongal or the Surya Kolam and kind of depicting it for the summer. Hamsha, do you have some kind of specific designs or the kolim designs or your mugu designs or rangoli designs from the part of India you come from, Hamsha?
They are, but for now, I'd like to just concentrate on what we want right here to give
Definitely,
everyone more
definitely. No,
attention.
no, the point here I wanted to make is even if the underlying philosophy is the same, there could be
Yeah,
slight variations in different parts of state in depicting or drawing this to celebrate certain festivals, right? That's what I just wanted to kind of bring that thought here.
absolutely. And the Sankranti is also celebrated in Andhra.
Correct.
and basically taking care of harvest, right? And you're bringing the
Right.
sunshine. So yes, we have it.
Yeah.
Thank you. And the
So
other
we
one I
use,
was saying, the diya you spoke about earlier on is lights, basically little lamps.
Yeah.
Um,
yes.
Normally just clay lamps with a little wick. And Surya again is sun, as you said right here.
Yeah.
And then we're
Right.
going to winter.
Yeah, and then when it came to winter, we decided, or I thought of snowflake, and then again I used the same Sikku column template or Sikku column method to bring in a snowflake pattern there. So this six-pointed snowflake there, and then it's still Sikku column, but then the difference between the two is the colors. So when I wanted to show winter, I said, okay, I want a white snowflake on my floor. So how will I bring it? So the background became darker, but then I still used purples and blues to accentuate it. And the contrast between the two is the sun has the yellows and oranges, and the winter has the blues and purples there. Both are Seku columns again. So that was winter. But then when it came to spring, that was the most difficult part of the whole thought. I
This
finished
one
the
is
first
my,
three easily.
this one is my favorite, Gauri. It just kind of like brings the joy and the beauty of spring, right? Hamsha, the colors are so, and I mean, it's just April right now, but very early in the April, you literally see New England with these colors around you.
No,
Absolutely.
it was the most difficult thinking part for me when I wanted to bring a spring. Initially, we did decide that we will bring the three kinds of columns: the padi
Mhm.
column, the pulli column, and the sikko column. The pulli column is actually joining the dots kind of a column. But when it came to spring, and then spring means flowers and blooms, and I couldn't stop thinking of the Poo column of Kerala culture.
Ah,
And that's when I decided that okay, skip the pulli kolam part and let's try to bring in the pu kolam here. So this is an inspiration from the Kerala pu kolam, which they do during Onam festivals, where they use flowers to decorate their front yard. So instead of flowers, we have the colors of the blooms here in this column. It's a typical mandala kind of a drawing, but the fun part was to bring in the mangoes and the blooms, the lotuses in the column on the edging. What else can you think of spring, right, Swati?
Yep,
right.
the mangoes and the lotuses and the colors. This is just the most beautiful thing, like, to depict the spring. And as you said, by bringing in another uh, another design, the design from another state.
Mhm.
So, like, which is Kerala again, which is part of South India, but bringing in that whole flower designs, and those designs are so beautiful if you really see them. Yeah. And
Yes, well, right here in Concord, there's a Meadowbrook pond where you actually can see lotuses. So
oh,
if people want to
wow.
watch, they can
Nice.
see that in live. Yes,
Yeah.
really beautiful. I think it's called Lotus Pond.
Yeah.
So when we brought it all together, when I put all the four columns together, and this is how it came. So I tried to put the two radial columns, which are circular on the ends, and then bring in the patterns or the geometric types of shapes in the middle. So
Mhm.
putting it all together, but then there was still a little space, which we had to cover. Swati and I had to think a lot about it.
Yeah, so
Swati,
as I said, we selected one of the area which was the D area that I showed you on the first slide,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
had a particular dimension. And to kind of fill it in, we needed something more, and we were thinking
Mhm.
about the borders. And at that point of time, Gauri kind of put me to the task and said that, and first. Yeah, to just kind of back up a little, we kind of thought a lot about it. Like, do we bring in another art from India? How do we continue with our theme of Kolam? But then Gauri came up with this idea, like, can we think about something which is like very traditional to Natick and can be identified as the Natick culture?
Mhm.
And it was at that point of time that I was looking around as to how can we connect, and I came across this beautiful mosaic art window in our Natick library. I sent this photo to Gauri, and Gauri created the magic.
Ah,
So when I saw this, I said, okay, this is a good idea or a theme which we can bring in, and it will not, I mean, the thing is, if we just draw the column, it will really or probably look more traditional, at least to our eyes. So to bring in the Natick feel, I really asked Swati, like, give me something more than column. Let's not just do column border. So when she gave this, I had like, okay, that's it, that's what we need. And I took a little pieces from that stained glass art in what Swati had sent. So you can see the flower as one part, the acorn and the paisley shapes, and I used that. And then I also added a little bit of the column elements in the border, like you can see the diyas or the earthen lamps on one part of the column. So when the column flows from one season to other, the border also will be flowing from little changes to see that there is a little flow from the art. So the complete artwork, that's it, and that's for Swati.
absolutely beautiful. The town of Natick is so lucky to be able to see this daily as they drive by.
Yeah, but Hamsha, so this design was selected by the Public Art Committee, by the
Mhm.
NCCD as one of the art project.
I
And
was going to ask, when are you going to start it?
yeah, we're planning to start in the month of May, or
Mhm.
so I mean, we had to wait till the snow goes out of the road, out of our ground and everything. So I've
Yeah.
seen that the DPW or the has been kind of preparing those areas. And now the challenge, as I said, was for me is who is going to do it? Like we designed it, we did it, but who would be actually doing it uh, on the streets? So uh, this is
Who is
going
going to do it?
sorry, yeah, I'm not an artist, so I had to find again someone.
Yeah.
So Suesha is a grade 9 student who lives in Sherburne. She was an
Mhm.
original resident of Natick. She is an accomplished dancer, accomplished painter, accomplished artist. So I knew her through my earlier some of our projects. So I contacted her, and
Mhm.
she just agreed to do it.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, so it's going to be, I love this project not only because it's like kind of transcending the boundaries and Gowri doing the design from Philippines, an intergenerational project also where the youth is getting engaged in this traditional
Yeah.
art, right? So it's kind of like really bringing everything together. And so we might start in like end May mid or May end. We have like till mid of July to complete it. And at this point of time, I would also like to thank all these partners or all these foundations who are funding this project, especially Native Cultural Council, who is going to fund our design. So
Oh,
Natick Central Cultural District, Mutual One Charitable Foundation, these are all the organizations who are funding this project. And we're really thankful for all this wonderful organization who is supporting art and culture in the town of Natick.
and this is such a great way with the equity, inclusion, and diversity work. Greetings again. Thank you so much, Swati and Gowri. Gowri all the way from Philippines, and Swati from Natick, putting this lovely program together. And thank you so much for watching us on Be My Guest. And always welcome to watch Be My Guest on YouTube channel ActonTV. Till we meet again, take care. Bye bye.